If your standing posture looks like this, where your hips are way ahead of your torso, your feet have a tendency to spin out, or you notice that your glutes are clenched at all times, you may be presenting with what is called a swayback posture. And although posture doesn't always correlate to pain, you may have some movement limitations that are created because this is your go-to movement strategy. So what do? That's what you're going to learn in this video. You're going to find out the common movement issues that can happen with this particular postural presentation and how to address it. The swayback posture is defined as a posture where the pelvis is forward in relationship to the thorax. When this happens, we see a reduction in the lumbar curve, so it appears to be more flexed. And then the upper portion of the spine, the thoracic spine, appears more slouched. A lot of times the sternum appears to be a bit depressed, and the lower ribs are not as prominent. This postural presentation can also present with the lower abdomen bulging out, called a pooch belly. And from a muscle activity standpoint, this study suggested that a swayback posture has increased rectus abdominis muscle activity and decreased glute activity. They posited that this alteration in muscle activity may increase stress in the lower back. But here's the issue. You may look this way, but it's not always a problem. Most of the contemporary research shows that static posture, the way you stand, doesn't correlate all that much with pain. But when is it a problem? It's a problem when this posture is associated with reduced range of motion. A swayback posture oftentimes presents with a reduction in the ability of the hips to internally rotate. There's a magnification of hip external rotation, and usually this person cannot touch their toes or they have a limitation in the straight leg raise. If I have these range of motion deficits, now my load distribution is more focal. And if I have more focal load distribution, that can contribute to aches and pains because there's increased pressure in certain areas of the body. So if I have these movement limitations, how do I increase my motion to gain them back? We have to slowly encourage the opposite movement behavior, reducing muscle activity over time, so that way we have more movement freedom. So if the pelvis is way far forward, we want to encourage movement behaviors over time that will teach us to shift the pelvis back, which means that I have to choose strategies that drive hip internal rotation and also expand the lower portion of the pelvis. When you do that, it will increase the muscle activity of the gluteus maximus, but from an eccentric position. Moreover, I need to choose strategies that get the rectus abdominis to be more relaxed. This will allow the front of the rib cage to move more easily. What type of tactics can we use to make this happen? There's a 4-step exercise sequence that I incorporate with a lot of people who present with this. The first move is called a crime scene pose. This is good because you're driving a little bit of internal rotation through the hips as well as rotation, which will help get the back of the hips to relax, and also because you're lying on your stomach, you're going to minimize rectus abdominis activity. Here's how to do it. You're gonna lie on your stomach. You wanna tip one leg out, not too high, right about here. Your arm is gonna be tipped out like this. You want your elbow crease about eye height. Then you're gonna gently press the inner elbow straight down and the inner knee. You're gonna go silently inhale through the nose, nice soft exhale through the mouth. Perform this for 3 to 4 rounds of 5 breaths per side. Once you've nailed the breathing sequence down pat and it feels pretty low effort, you can then progress to frog breathing. And the way we do that is making sure that you have a wide stance through the legs, like so, with the feet touching. You're going to do the same thing in the arms. You want the elbows wide with the hands together. You're going to bring your knees so they're behind your hips, or your hips are ahead of your knees. You're going to glance up at the fingertips, silently breathe in through the nose, exhale, push through the inner elbows and the inner knees. You're slowly going to let your entire torso move straight up without crunching or arching. The chest and the belly have to come up. You're gonna hold this position, silently in through the nose, soft exhale through the mouth. You'll wanna do 3 to 4 rounds of 5 breaths 2 times per day. Once you've spent a couple weeks doing that and it's getting too easy, you can progress it to a bent elbow backwards crawl. Now you're gonna be hands and knees, making sure the hands are completely flat on the ground, the elbows are unlocked. You're gonna look up about a foot ahead, silent in through the nose, exhale, same entire torso away, like you did on the frog. Then you're gonna inhale, lift one arm and one knee up, slide back, exhale, back down. Making sure the elbow stays bent, you don't sag. You're gonna do 3 to 4 rounds of 5 steps per side with that move. It should torch the abs. If you've mastered all those moves, they're getting easy and you're not getting crushed like you were before, the best way to get the back of the hips to relax and reduce the sway back posture is with a walking wall squat. Here's how to do it. You're gonna be a couple feet away from the wall. Hands are gonna be up against the wall. Make sure your eyes are looking straight ahead. From here, you're gonna unlock your knees. You wanna silently breathe in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. As you do so, you wanna slowly walk your hands down the wall and keeping your knees fixed, push the hips back and the chest down. You wanna make sure the knees don't lock out at this point. And from here, you're gonna slowly squat down, making sure you keep some pressure in the wall. If you get it right, you're gonna feel the back of your legs working. You're gonna hold this for 5 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Make sure as you squat down, you don't round through the lower back. Perform that move for 5 sets of 5 breaths, 2 times per day. Now, another common presentation that happens with this sway back posture is a pooch belly, where the lower abdomen bulges out. If you've done these moves and you still notice that you have that, I'd check out this video right here where I deep dive how to improve your movement so the pooch belly is reduced.